News at 7.
From a state perspective, if we're going to do this, we need to do it right.
Marijuana consumption lounges are one step closer to becoming a reality in Nevada. The Assembly passed legislation 29-12. Continuing coverage of the 2021 legislature tops 2 News at 7 o'clock. Good evening, I'm Ryan Kennedy.
I'm Ariana Bennett. Thank you for keeping it here. Now, AB 341 is now in the Senate's hands. If passed, it would legalize marijuana consumption lounges in our state. Now, the moratorium on those lounges expires in just about a month. Lawmakers say without a state law, that could lead to local governments making their own laws. So they say a state law provides consistency. And there has been a push for this since recreational marijuana was legalized back in 2017. Paul Nelson has the story.
Marijuana consumption lounges are not allowed in Nevada, but their legalization is halfway to the governor's desk. The Assembly approved AB 341 with some bipartisan support. The bill's sponsor says this will help visitors who buy weed in our state.
People come and they purchase it, and there's nowhere they can consume because most of them are staying in gaming properties or hotels that don't allow it, and you're not allowed to consume it in public.
If the Senate passes the bill, dispensaries would be allowed to open a consumption lounge at one of its facilities. 20 other independent companies could start one of their own. 12 Republicans voted against the bill.
I have supported some passage of bills that regulate that industry, but this was one that just I felt like promoted it further, and it was something that I just wasn't quite comfortable with.
It comes a day after the Assembly passed AB 126. That would switch Nevada's presidential caucus to a primary and move the election to be the first in the nation. And both houses unanimously approved the K-12 education budget, the largest in the state's history.
I think it's a very good bill as far as being able to fund education in the state. We hit about a little over 10 grand a student.
I am very happy that we are continuing to invest in education because it's our future. Everything that we do in this state really in some way or another ties back to education.
The Assembly passed another big budget item, funding infrastructure projects.
Capital improvement projects are critical across our entire state to make sure that we're funding our infrastructure, critical maintenance and repair needs in our buildings across the state, as well as some exciting new projects.
That is our jobs bill. That's, if you had ever told me that the CIP would be the most fun bill, but you get to build things, you get to fix things, you get to grow things.
Covering the 2021 legislative session, Paul Nelson, 2 News.
The capital improvement budget includes some renewable energy projects as well as some money for nonprofits, and that would help build things like warehouses for food banks. The Assembly also passed the budget to pay state employees.